Welcome to Jackie's Craft Table. Hi, thanks for joining me. I have another Christmas card for you today. I'm running late on getting my Christmas cards out, so I needed to make something fast and simple. I'm using the Silhouette design software. Here's a shot of my computer screen. I was able to fit 4 on one page, and where you see the red lines is where my Silhouette Cameo is going to cut. I found some pretty shiny blue paper in my stash, and I'm just adhering that to the Silhouette cutting mat. I'm going to load the cutting mat into the machine. I find it really fun to watch, but I'm not going to make you sit through the whole thing. I just wanted to show you a bit of what was happening. So as I said before, it's cutting out 4 panels, which are going to be slightly smaller than an A2 size card. And it's also cutting out just sections of each Christmas tree, and I'll show you what I'm going to be doing with that in just a minute. So here is my inspiration photo. I was looking up Christmas tree images, and this is what I found. But I wanted to make this into an actual 3D card, not one colored to look 3D. And hopefully, by the time you're watching this, I'll have all my Christmas cards out in the mail. How are all of you coming on your Christmas cards this year? You all have probably posted them ages ago. For some reason, I'm just kind of slow this year. Here, I'm just gently peeling these off of the sticky mat. The machine cut them out beautifully. I'm being careful not to bend the paper too much. I'm bending the mat more than I am the paper. This is a new mat, so it's still rather sticky. Then I can replace the paper it came with so that it is protected. These cards are very easy to mass produce. Before I make the card 3D, I'm going to work on the sentiment, and I'm going to heat emboss that with some white embossing powder. I put the anti-static powder down first, and now I'm just placing the sentiment. I left the sentiment stamp on my MISTI door so that I could stamp all of these up pretty quickly. I'm just searching for my Versamark ink here. My desk is a mess. So once I find it, I'm going to use that ink pad. It's a very sticky ink, and I'm going to put that on my sentiment. You are only able to see a few inches of my workspace, and it looks pretty clean, but the rest of it is a disaster, I'm afraid. Gotta get cleaning. Once that's stamped, I'm going to put the embossing powder on right away. You don't have to heat emboss it right away, but I would suggest putting the embossing powder on. And then you can heat up your heat tool and emboss them all at once while it's good and hot. The white embossing powder I thought just looked very pretty on this paper. There were a few strays, so I'm getting out a paintbrush and just brushing those away. Very easy to do. I'm using a piece of typing paper to catch all of the embossing powder, and then I can just pick that up and funnel it back into my little bottle. This is very thin cardstock, so I'm trying to be careful not to warp the paper. I'm not allowing my heat tool to stay in one place for very long. To get rid of the anti-static powder, I'm just going to use a tissue and just buff that away. It comes off very nicely. I'm going to add a lot of adhesive to the back of this panel, and I'm first using some little square dots. I'm going to cut them in half so they're more triangular. This will help them to fit better in the little corners of my Christmas tree. I think this is the part of the card that took the longest, but it really didn't take that long. I'm using a lot of square dots on this card. I do have a lot of little square dots. I don't use them as often as I do the larger ones, so I have a lot of them in my stash. So this card really helped me use up some of the supplies that I haven't used in quite a while. Next, I'm using dot liner adhesive, and I'm being very generous with that. Now I can take off the release paper from my little square dots. I'm placing this panel right onto my card base. This is the fun part because as I press it down, you can see that it really is 3D. I had a little wrinkle in the side of this one. It didn't happen on any of my other cards, but of course when I'm filming it, it has to happen, but I made it work. I still used it. I'm using my bone folder to gently press that down. For the very last touch on this card, I've selected a few gel pens, and I'm just drawing on little twinkle lights all over my tree. These gel pens are a lot of fun to use. After I was done with all of the little twinkle lights, I set my card aside to dry. I ended up making about 15 of these cards, and it went by pretty fast, and it was a lot of fun to put these together. Please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also click on the bell if you'd like to be notified when I publish a new video. And don't forget to share this video on your favorite social media. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all of you. It's such a busy time of year, but I hope you all get a chance to sit down and create some fun things. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!